What is up, fellas? Let me just get the audio right. All right. Here we go. What is up? How's the audio? Cool. So let's start the stream. All right. So guys, I'm so sorry for the absence. I've been crazy with work. Also crazy with a couple of courses I'm taking actually. And other than that, I know it sounds like yada yada excuses. So let's get right into it. All right, so what I'm planning tonight, just see if this, oh shit. Let me just switch this real quick. You're seeing my OBS. There we go. Yep. Sometimes the connection just switches. So sorry about that. Alright, so what I was thinking tonight we could do is actually just do a little hard surface modeling exercise. I'm not sure if this is better than this. Maybe this one is better. Yeah. So a little modeling exercise. We're gonna do a revolver. I'm gonna make a revolver, and it's gonna be pretty chill. I'm just gonna model and answer your guys' questions. Most of the time I'll just zone out because I'm trying new stuff here in ZBrush. I've been taking a lot of like hard surface modeling courses over the last, I would say, almost a year now actually. I started doing those courses in April, so it's like 9 months. From 9 months till now I've been heavy in experimenting with different techniques, enhancing my knowledge of topology, how to make a hard surface and clean models in ZBrush. Alright, so this is just a default project. What I'm gonna do first is load out a couple of like images I have right here that I've already pre-made for this stream. I sort of prepared this image, and we're gonna try and model like this whole revolver. I'm gonna try and do it just on one stream, but keep in mind that I'm not as agile with ZBrush as Paul Gabry or Michael Pavlovich or Garcetti or someone like that. So first, let's just clean this up and just paint this black so it's transparent. All right, let me just go ahead and click Control and then just do a quick. All right, so what's happening right there? I think I've done it a little. All right, so I had one already here cleaned up. So this is my image, this is my reference right there. I'm gonna go over and explain to you guys what the process is a little bit. But again, most of the time I'll just be zoning out and just trying to make this model happen. So this is my spotlight. I'll probably just dim down the opacity just a tiny bit so I can see through what I'm doing here. And first and foremost, I'm just gonna block this out real quick and just using one subtool. I'm gonna go over and just do this like on the side and switch my subtools to something like a cube, and then just scale this up. What the heck's going on here? Oh, it must be the new feature thing. Oh shit. Alright, so where's the focal shift? Took the focal shift off. Let me just go ahead and yeah. Now there's a new feature that's with the focal shift. The gizmo just sort of, if you get something on the focal shift, it's actually gonna deform based on the focal shift. So if I just go ahead and put like focal shift at like 2 and just rotate, see like what's happening here. I don't want any of that, so it's focal shift to -100 for me. Right, so first things first, let's just block this out real quick using Dynamesh just to get the basic shapes overall, and then we're gonna go through individual parts. I'll probably model this part right here as one subtool. I'm gonna take some liberties on these shapes, guys. Like, I'm not gonna do this exact dent here. I could, but I'm not. I'm gonna go for more classical sort of revolver type of feel, like from here onward and not from here. And then this is just another shape. It's gonna be like a sphere. And this is another one, this is another one, this whole thing is another one. From the inside, this small piece, this one right there, and then the couple of cylinders here, and maybe this one right there, and this one right there. So there's a couple of pieces here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, at least 12 pieces. This is not counting that some of these pieces are made up of several sort of meshes inside the subtools. Okay, so let's start off with something fairly simple, which is exactly what we want. It's just go over with a clip curve and just clip sort of where I think this mesh is gonna sit on my... Actually, let me just clip this right there, because this is going to be a cylinder anyway, so who cares, right? Let me just go ahead. But this is just so I have a reference, basically. So I'm going to clip this actually over here. And I'm gonna Dynamesh this, but really low. I'm gonna keep this super low. Also, I'm gonna go over to my Dynamesh settings and blur down to 0, and now I'll Dynamesh. Yes. Yes. Let's go over this real quick, like that. Over here, flip this, and let me just flip this over here. Something like that. And then maybe flip this over there. Maybe I should have done this with polygroups. Who cares, right? Just flip this real quick. Yeah, there we go. This actually doesn't really matter because I'm not gonna... I'm gonna model this separately, so whatever. Let's go over here. Right, something like that. Roughly the shape I'm going for. Alright. Doesn't have to be perfect. Actually, let me cut this whole thing. Alright. Now I can use like a clip circle. And I'm gonna try and clip that right there. Oh crap. This is hard with the circle. Yes, something like that. Maybe go ahead and clip this. I can re-dynamesh this real quick and just go ahead, flip this, maybe flip this, maybe flip something around here. And this is about it. This is like the basic shape starting off. It's like the overall shape. It's a little wide. And what I'm gonna do, I'm taking a little hint from Michael Pavlovich. What I'm gonna do is actually just go ahead and get a, oh, actually I'm just gonna use another subtool. I'm gonna get a cylinder here, because the barrel is gonna be a cylinder, so I'm gonna get a cylinder. Oh, also, what I wanna do is actually store this view for later. All right, so I'm gonna clear, this is Alt-P. Yeah, I just set up a new hotkey, so I can just go like this and then Alt-V, and it goes back into place. And if I go Alt-Shift-V, it's gonna clear like that stored view. All right, let me see. What was I doing? Oh yeah, getting a cylinder. Yeah, all right. Insert. There's a cylinder. Doesn't really matter what it is because I'm gonna switch this anyway to cylinder 3D. And maybe just put it right there and get the barrel starting what it should, and just go ahead and put a little bit of opacity, get the barrel in place, something like that. All right. Yeah, maybe something like that. So this is the size of the barrel, which means this needs to be way thinner. Something along those lines, maybe a little thinner. Even thinner. Let me check. Yeah, something like that. Right. So this is the basic shape we got here. And let me just get back my spotlight, Alt-V. And let me get another shape right there for that part. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get a cube. Doesn't really matter how it sits, but let's try to be a little perfect. Just get this lower. I'm starting to feel like my back is going on a fritz. Yesterday I went to sleep at like 6 a.m. because I'm taking Paul Gavery's course on a hard surface, and it's 3 a.m. here in Portugal. So, all right, let's just clip this over, and go ahead and get that shape. There we go. Something like that. And let's get this a little thinner. Also, what I want to do, I should... Let me check the topology on this. Yeah, I should do a little... Let me just go ahead, back this down. What I should do here is actually clip with polygroups on. And let me get some polygroups here. Actually, let me dynamesh this first. Now let's get some dynamesh with groups. Where is it? Dynamesh. Oh, here it is. Oh, Jesus. Alright, now we're rocking. First, let me just activate this one. Yeah, this should be deleted. Actually, let me get this back where it was. Dynamesh with groups on, and now just turn off Dynamesh. Alright, let's start, finally. Right, so now that I have groups right there, all I need to do is actually just isolate these. Let me clip these as well. Let's do a little polish by groups. Actually, yeah, let's do something else. Let's go ahead and do a slice. All right. And now what I want to do is actually isolate this. All right, so let's start by this one. This one, this one, this one, this one, maybe this one as well. No, not this one. Just that one. And I believe that's what it is. I don't want any other groups. Alright, maybe I don't need that one. Let's just delete hidden. Hidden. Let's go ahead and mirror and weld. And now we have, let me just hide this one. Control W. Get that one. And now I have the base for my, like, around the trigger, right? So let's go ahead, get this to a point where we need to, let me just do a quick ZBrush right there. ZBrush, detect edges, adaptive size down to 0, ZBrush. Yeah, maybe I should split this. Oh, this doesn't really matter, because this is gonna be reworked over, so. Alright, so now we have cleaner topology, but it didn't mirror, didn't do. Let's go same adaptive size. Yeah, much better, way better. All right, cleaner topology ready for Zmodeler. And if I go ahead with Zmodeler and just go and do a little quick Q mesh. First, let me just split this, because you know, and split that. So go here and go to split hidden. Yeah, now I have a different subtool, and now I can go over and just do a quick polygroup all. All right, what are you doing? Oh, not polygroup all polygons, because this needs to be a single polygroup for that to work. Maybe I should ZBrush it once more, because I feel like I need to be super low poly for this. There we go. Much better. Just extrude this in with Q mesh, and then we could retouch that a little bit. Yeah, we should. Yeah, this should be fine. Yeah, all right. Let me just flip. Oh, I changed my interface and now I'm just nuts. Just going nuts here. Just go ahead. Let me just go ahead and also do a fairly quick mirror and weld. Alright, something like that. Just tweak it up a little. And now let's, oh, something a little nasty right there. Let's just get these in place. Alright. Now what I want to do is actually, alright, so this is a different polygroup for whatever reason. One polygroup, there we go, and now we can just go ahead and do crease PG, reduce level of creasing, dynamic, and get something more along these lines. Let's go ahead and uncrease, edge loop partial, uncrease this. There we go. Still feels a little weird to me, but probably it's because of the context. So let me just go ahead and bring back my spotlight. Alright, it's not that far off. Doesn't really matter, we could always change it later. So I have the trigger, I have a barrel right there. Let me just check my reference, because I have a lot of references on my pure ref. Alright. Still, let's go ahead and just put the other one right there. So this is going to be duplicated right there. And just be a little longer. Yeah, something like that. Then there's another one, another thing right there at the tip, which is actually a continuation of this. So this goes up until there, and then there's a little piece going right around there. But also I feel like I should split this because I want to have more control over my initialized sort of options. So let me just split unmask. This to another subtool, and this I'm gonna change it to just remake the cylinder. Alright, now I want to change the spans here real quick. Let me just get out of, change these spans to like until they're like faceted. 5, maybe. Yeah. Now I could just rotate it 180 and get this. Real quick. There we go. Right, so I might add a little bit of things right there because I have more reference and I feel like I should explore a little bit more options with live booleans. So let's just go ahead and fix this. Let me just put this right. Maybe I need a little bit of an inner radius, or not. Maybe I'll then just use Zmodeler. Alright, so for the pieces, right there, I'm gonna go ahead and just create another one right there. Create the barrel also because it's cylindrical. This sphere, it's also very simple. This one right here is a little trickier, but it's doable. So I'm gonna insert a cylinder, another one. Just shift to this different cylinder right there. I feel like I should just put the barrel right there. Just fit it in. Something like that. A little bigger. All right. And now I want a sphere right there. And this subtool I'm not gonna dynamesh because I don't really need to, because they're literally simple cylinders and stuff. So just go ahead, put this sphere where it should be. Maybe it shouldn't be right there, it should be right there. Yeah, something like that. And then let's just change this to 50. I'm gonna again take some liberties with these subtools. Doesn't really matter, because then I'm gonna create that shape. It could be a little bigger, it could be a little smaller, I still don't know. So this is gonna be the subtool, I think, where I'm not gonna change anything, this and the barrel. So I might just start renaming this, because I know it can get crazy with hard surface. It can get really crazy, like the amount of subtools. So if you don't name your subtools correctly and right off the bat, then it's gonna be crazy. This could stay the same, but this could be like the trigger guard. There we go. Trigger guard. This is just the blockout. I might as well just rename it blockout. All right, so for this, I could just slice this up and just close holes or something like that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna duplicate this and then just come over with a knife curve brush and then just slice open these parts. Right there, something like that. And if I just shift, you can see it actually made a dent and so I have like a different subtool. Of course, this is like clipping right there because I made a duplicate. So again, it's just a matter of getting the forms separated. So I could just, in theory, let me just duplicate this as well and get this form right there. Get this form right there. Right. And then get that form as well. So the way this works is a little different than the clipping and a little different than the trimming, I'm sorry. Because it actually creates like clean topology, as you can see. And then it sort of welds the way it tries to get like at least the harsh edge, which for me is the most important, because this is again just a blockout of the main shapes. So I have another one right here. All right, let's see for this one, because for this one again I want separate shapes so I can dynamesh it and sculpt like this, these plane shifts right there. So I don't want to be like too picky right now. Let me just check something here real quick. All right. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. me just change a few settings right there. All right. So what we're gonna do again is get this clipped. Duplicate and get this cut out. Right, cut out right there. Let's cut it out right there. Gonna have to be perfect again. Again, this also creates, besides creating topology, also creates like a polygroup. So it's perfect. Again, as I said, it's perfect for this kind of work. All right, let me see. Perfect. Perfect shape. And let's actually cut this out. Somewhere along these lines, because then I'm gonna have to use like this for my ZBrush. Actually, I could show you. So you can see we have all these pieces right here. Let's just make that one, and then I'll show you guys like what's going on here. Just duplicate this again, and now all I want to do is like cut this, and also cut here, and also cut here. Like so. Alright, so we're starting to get the basic overall shape. Let me just try and get that one as well. So this one's a little tricky, because this is actually a weird little rascal. This is. Yeah, let me, again, let's just cut this like broad. Really broadly, just cutting it. And now all I want to do is like, I could sort of gauge the shape. Something like that. Then maybe cut here. And once we ZBrush this and get it cleaner for Zmodeler work, it doesn't need to stay this way. It could be changed a little bit. So this is just a basic block out. Let's just guess the, guess the width a little bit. All right, this is a little thinner. Pretty sure it is. Something like that. Just a little wider. Let me check the reference. Yeah, something along those lines. This is a little thinner as well. There we go. We could also just do the ZBrush right now, so you guys can see like what's going on. Since I have these clean meshes, I could also just go here with Zmodeler and just paint these polygons right there. Or I could slice them. But again, doesn't need it to be super fancy. There we go. Let's clean this up. Alright, different polygroups. That's all looking fine. Let's just go ahead and go ZBrush same actually. Same, detect edge, like keep groups, smooth groups down to 0. Smooth groups down to 0, adaptive size down to 0. Maybe I should detect edges right there. And let's just ZRemesh this. As you can see, clean instant geometry. This could be a little better, but again, we could also just go ahead and do like half, 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 half again. And there we go. All right, so there's a problem with the symmetry. I didn't realize that. Whoops. Let me just do this one more time, but this time with symmetry on. To be careful about that. Right, so the first one is same. No adaptive size, no smooth groups. And now half, and let's go. Go. There we go. Instant clean geometry, and I could just go manually here with Zmodeler, just insert edge loop and just clean this up. You can see I could have done this for sculpt as well, like something more organic. I instantly, in like, I don't know, a minute, I got clean low poly geometry, which I could use for example, if I can go over here, just go crease speed G, lower crease level, activate dynamic, higher smooth subdivisions, maybe lower even more, and you get clean shapes, which could like overall just be, you know, your base for, you can see like super clean. This is dirty, but it's gonna get the same treatment any minute now. For this subtool, I'm just gonna exemplify like what did I mean by I don't need to sort of dynamesh this and block it out. So first things first, let's just check that this is actually fitting. I didn't need actually this sphere. I could just rework this from ZRemesh, just extract those faces and do like a closed concave hole, concave holes with a circle, and it's a spline that creates like a dome that I could interactively just control the curvature. So, but again, it works for what it is. I might do that anyway because, oh no, the geometry is the same. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's keep this one, just duplicate it, and then I'm gonna do this from the start, you guys, all right? So if I have this shape right here, I'm gonna switch this to a polycylinder right there. And now I wanna turn on, what the heck's going on? Why is this still, for some reason that one is still, oh, okay. I get what ZBrush is telling me. Yeah, I duplicated it, and then I replaced everything except for that cylinder. All right, so delete hidden. Let's go ahead, do this again. Polycylinder. Let me just go ahead and put the gizmo right there, and then polycylinder 3D. Not polycylinder, I'm sorry. Then turn this on so I could get like a nice, so you can see why the block-in is useful, because I can remodel everything, even though this is really rough and it's not at all ideal in terms of modeling. I could use this as sort of my cage for where everything should fit into, like all of the different pieces and elements. And for a mesh like this, which is fairly simple, it's a fairly simple mesh, it's fine. But if you go into some things that are a little more complex, you like a vehicle or a sci-fi gun or anything that has a lot of panels, a lot of pistons, a lot of small little details, you quickly realize how useful this is, because you can get too attached to like small little details, and that's not ideal. All right, so again, this is all stuff that I learned from Paul Gabery, and I just signed up for his lifetime mentorship, lifetime workshops, which is sculptcorner.com. All right, so I have this one right here. I don't need as much topology here. If this is going to be like my final sort of mesh, all I need to be is a pair number. So let me get this. Yeah, my tablet's going out of threads. All right, so let me just recheck this. As you can see, it's a fairly simple cylinder. I want to keep it that way because I want to do some fairly complex Z modeling. Not complex, it's really simple actually. But I want to do some Z modeling, and I want to keep these polygons really so I'm able to see them. So let's just, first of all, polygroup flat island, just go like this. Inset polygroup all, and just get something like that. And then what I could do, before that, I could just go ahead and do QMesh, and do QMesh polygroup all, and then just separate this. And now I could just split this, just invert the mask and go split mask points. There we go. And now that's a different subtool, that thing that I extracted. So I know the exact sort of width to this. Alright, so now what I could also do, I could do this in one go actually. No, it's better to keep it this way. Alright, so now what I want to do is actually go ahead and do that inset I was talking about. So maybe another one, something like that. Then I could just polygroup, polyloop, get a different polygroup right there. This is so I could get a little bit of a dent right there. I could even make it go further, something like that. Maybe that was too much. I don't want them to actually touch, slightly touch, like just indicate that it's touching. Alright, so now that I have this, let's go inset, and this one is really, flat island. Yeah, let's polygroup, polyloop, and again, just QMesh, polygroup all. Maybe I need this to be thinner, so I might just do one more. Actually, let me just go ahead and polygroup this flat island, and then just inset this again. I can get a little different polygroups right there, and maybe inset polygroup, and set this tiny little bit right there. Now I could QMesh this out. Alright, so you can see what I have here, and the thing is I could use these polygroups that Zmodeler is giving me, so I could just go ahead and do, there it is, dynamic subdivision, just crease BG, lower crease level to 2, smooth subdiv to 6, maybe less, maybe like 5, and maybe crease should be like 3. And maybe this is a little too low. Let's go for 6, 3. Yeah, and there we go. There we have it. This is our barrel, our main barrel. Then we're going to punch some holes there and just create that little thing I told you guys about. And this is the beauty. I've done this in like, what, 5 minutes? Not even so. I did that in 5 minutes. Also, let's just hide this one because I don't need it anymore. I feel like, again, I have this little thing right here. You guys didn't forget, did you? Let me just put this right there. You can see the cut going through. And now I could just go ahead and put like, actually just go ahead and bridge. Actually, no, let me just QMesh this like so. And then I'm gonna delete flat island, delete this flat island and go on the border and go to close convex hole circle. Let's try it. And there we go. And now we can have like interactively create this sort of pseudo dome shape. I don't need as much geometry. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Alright, something like that. And I don't need as much geometry. Alright, something along these lines, and maybe this should be a little higher, but let's forget about it right now. Alright, so there we go. We could also delete this right now because I don't need it. So I'm gonna delete polyloop. And now I could just close this. Concave hole. Oh no, let's just do convex hole and just click it. Oh, if I click it, it's gonna set the same settings. Something like that. Select this. Oh, also change polygroups, and now different polygroup as well. So I could just crease that as well. So let me just shift this right here, and now control click, alt click here. I don't know why this is suddenly smaller. Larger, actually. And now I could just tweak this using the gizmo. Fine. Again, crease speed G, crease level 3, dynamic with 6 subdivision. And there we go. Basic shape for... Alright, so I can understand why this was smaller. Right? This was larger, actually. Yeah, because of the smooth thing. Yeah, here we go. Right. So you can see fairly quickly, I did this with Zmodeler, this with ZBrush, I got a clean mesh, and this is just still in the block out phase. This was also using a couple of features with polygroups. I could still just go ahead and just clean this up further. I could just go ahead and with the insert, just clean and take off some of these edge loops that I don't really need. I could also just keep doing ZBrush because it has polygroups, right? So if it has polygroups, while it still has polygroups, I can really just go ahead and let me just put another one here. I don't know, lazy mouse, I don't need lazy mouse for that. And just go ahead and create another polygroup there so it has a border. And now, then we can use a deformer to actually shape this to our specific shape. I could go ahead with ZBrush, keep groups, detect edges not necessary right now, smooth through groups down to 0, depth of size 0, half, ZBrush. And here we go. Clean topology. Alright, so you can see there's this issue because I want a clean edge flow here. Not to worry, Zmodeler to the rescue. Just go ahead. You could either collapse an edge. Where's the collapse? Oh yeah, here it is. Collapse this edge, but that's gonna create, you know, sort of like this thing. But you could do it. Yeah, it's still. Yeah, let's just stitch. I always prefer the Maya method. Old habits die hard. Let's go ahead and stitch these verts. I could even just stitch half of it, and since this is symmetrical, I could just mirror and weld everything. And then just go ahead, let's clean this up, take this off, don't need that edge loop. And now I get clean, low polygon geometry that allows me to actually just come here and reshape this. Also, I feel like this is getting way too thick. So I want something that's a little thinner. I have to remember this is a classic Revolver. It's not going to be super duper fancy or something like that. Also, no need of this edge. I could slide this edge because I want to have some even polygons right there. I could just get this one down a little. I'm a topology guy. This type of stuff really bothers me. But again, it's still in the blockout phase, so again, I'm already getting too picky with this. Doesn't really matter. All I want to do is have all of those pieces right there. So I could easily just go ahead, for example, with this and just duplicate this and just make it thinner, for example, and just reuse this for whatever purposes we have. So something like that, for example. And then I could just go ahead with our fancy knife curve brush and just, let's see, go ahead and do something like that. Now we could do something like that. And you can see cut straight through, even though like, yeah, no, it cuts straight through. So let's just split this into another subtool. Once we're doing like cleanup and stuff like that, it's really useful to have subtools. So that's why I told you, like, it's gonna get crazy. See the amount of subtools we have, and this is not even, we didn't even get too deep with this. All right, so let's go ahead and split this. Split unmasked points, split masked points. I always forget like what's, because it's dyslexia. All right, so split masked points. All right, that's it. So we keep working on this. This one also has like this issue, which I'm not feeling really comfortable with. So just go ahead and I could maybe, yeah, this doesn't need, I could also just go ahead with Zmodeler and Q mesh this. I'm feeling, whoops, like a single poly and just there we go. Actually, I think I know why. Let's just mask this. For some reason, like QMesh doesn't really like things that are not completely flat when you're doing this sort of operation. You can see what's happening right there. Is it not working? Just go ahead. No, you know what? Screw this. There we go. Plain fucking cut. Bring these polygons right here, like so. There we go. Now we can zero mesh. I could even do half again. Keep groups. Don't need to check the edges. And there we go. And now we could flatten this like manually or using a clip. Don't need that as well. Ignore that. Super simple geometry. You can see right there. clean, simple geometry. And now crease PG, and there we go. There's a little shape. And we could always like tweak this. Yeah, this needs to be, again, the value of having like your reference right there is that I could go, it's almost there. Not yet though. Again, doesn't need to be super perfect. Right, let's go for this piece right there, then this piece, because this is pretty straightforward, even though it's time consuming. It's pretty straightforward right here. This one's not necessarily, this is actually flat, and then it curves inwards like this. This we might just do a little boolean right there. So again, let me just go ahead. This is actually part of that thing, so I might just go to or cylinder. Whoops, Majin Buu got in the way. And just stretch this out to there. Same goes for this one. There we go. Something like that. And now this piece doesn't really need that part, right? And now, since I have this with polygroups, maybe this one needs a polygroup, no matter. I could actually knife it and then just select, push this up. Okay, it's a little tubular right there. Let me think. So I'm not necessarily visualizing this form. Oh, I think I know what it is. I know what it is. Yeah, forget about it. Yeah, I know what it is. Just clip this off. Forget about this piece. Now just Z-remesh it so I get a little cleaner. Remesh same, keep groups. Maybe don't need to detect edges. Adaptive size down to 0. There we go. Clean geometry. Whoa, super clean actually. When it's like straight, like super flat surfaces, it's actually Z-remesh does a pretty better job at keeping the polygons as even as you possibly can. I don't know if it did with symmetry though. Yeah, it did. That's why it's so clean. Alright, so this is one shape, but then there's another shape right there, which is sort of like a sphere. Let's just rotate this and get it smaller. And this is actually way small. Something like that. Actually, no. Actually, this is something like that, and then something like this. Yeah. It's spherical in a way, but it doesn't really matter as long as like the design works. So this sort of ties into there. And then there's a cut right there. You can see like this is like a cut but this is sort of tubular. It just rounds off. Again, I could just go ahead and put this right there, try to match this, and then just boolean all this together. I don't know how that will work, but this, let's try it. So, no harm, no foul, right? There we go. We could just boolean this together. I could actually just do this right now. I could just... Whoa, what the heck happened there? Oh, there's two of them. Oh, shit. Well, let's get another one. Another sphere. And now it's on the same spot, so let's get this to a place where we want it. And then... There we go. And get this back here. And there we go, and then this sort of ties into there. We could then just work that out. Anyway, just bridge this together. We could actually sculpt that as well. Or we could just go ahead and go here. Actually go here and then sort of... And move this. Move in infinite depth. And then just move this. Just remesh the whole thing later. Again, this then curves inwards. So again, I'm gonna move this just using the move. Let's try it out. I'm just experimenting with you guys. So experimenting stuff is always good. Let's Z-remesh this. Same, keep groups. Sort of blends. No, not liking this. All right, let's go back to where we were, and we could sculpt this off. Let's split them. Again, we're gonna have to split a lot, and then just live boolean together, and then just rework the topology. Or even do some manual retopology, which is also fun. Split mask points. Check the reference right there. Yeah, there we go. So this I'm gonna need to Z-remesh a couple more times right here. Half. I could just, instead of sculpting, just get this to a point where I could just Z-model this up, which would be ideal. So let's just do that, right? I'm gonna work with what I know, which is Zmodeler. Right. I feel this needs to be thinner also. Let's thin this down. Something along these lines. You can see that edge loop, it should fairly coincide with this one. So if I'm very, very anal about this, I could just go in and slide edge loop complete and slide it over just a little bit. And now what we could do is actually just go to insert and delete this, and now I get that shape. Perfect, right? Again, how many clicks was that, right? It's crazy. Like, ever since I've learned how to use Zmodeler and live booleans, and then to quickly sort of retopologize, like a lot of retopology techniques, it just becomes like I don't even use Maya for this kind of stuff anymore. I used to work with Maya. Everything was made in Maya before even coming to ZBrush. ZBrush is just for sculpting little details. I don't even use Maya anymore. How long have we been streaming? Like for an hour, and already have like the most difficult part of the polygon halfway done, of the Revolver halfway done. And that's just how powerful this is actually. Like, I could just, this is actually going to be a little tricky. Like, this part's going to be a little tricky, but nothing too difficult. We could just go ahead and do some manual, like Z modeling there. Actually, let me change this. Actually, let me just go like that and just go ahead and get a cylinder and just rotate it. Just go to the top like so. Oh, let me just alt to get sort of like this. It's gonna be my cylinder. It's polygroup polyloop. Whoops. There we go. And now this part right there kinda has. I was thinking maybe it doesn't have, but yeah. Get it. Let's just switch. Again, I might be better off just reworking this entire piece. So I might just go ahead and get a cube here. Reduce this. I don't need any of this topology. Get the same width. Put it right there. And just get this up and running. And now we could actually use our... We could actually paint as well, like on the Dynamesh surface. Like just do some quick poly painting. Just get this back up. Quick poly painting, just so we're not like restricted by the size of this, which is kind of a bummer because it's so small. Like the piece is just really, really small. But again, I could just... Actually, I could just go ahead and put this entire thing and just insert a lot of edge loops there. And since I have the idea of what I want, I could just insert like, I don't know, like 4 edge loops right there, and then just tweak this. Actually, I don't even need 4. I need like 3 or something. And then just go ahead. Yeah, I might just do that. Let me just go ahead and do like 3. And then just get the overall. Let's do a quick auto groups here. Yeah, let's just do auto groups. I don't even need all these menus right there. All I need is like get this shape right. Let me just go back to our view. Yeah, this is a little off. Again, super easy to fix. Just put it right there. Now I could just go ahead and select those, bring them down. No, I don't need this anymore again. So this is going in, and maybe here. This You can't forget that this is going to be smoothed out. So it's just a matter of, this is the exact same workflow I would do in Maya, but since I'm in ZBrush, I have a whole range of possibilities to, like, the way I would work that I just don't in Maya. So I might as well just stay right here. I could also just merge these. Yeah, I could probably just collapse these or stitch 2 points. This as well, stitch. And there we go. Again, and since this is all like so smooth, fine and dandy, how about we go one step further and just rotate this. And now maybe we could delete. Let's try it out, might not work. Let me just get this out of the way. Maybe get that out of the way. And now we could either stitch manually like so, or we could have bridged all these together. There we go. Nice clean geometry. We could use this for a boolean as well. And since we have this right here, let's try putting this up a little. Again, doesn't need to be perfect. It's almost there. Oh, there's a trigger missing. Yeah, I knew there was something fairly essential missing. It's easy. I'm gonna do the same process I did right here. Or I could just do like Dynamesh clip. But since it's such a simple shape, I don't feel the need to just go zero mesh and all that stuff. Again, polygroup, flat island, polygroup this, polygroup that. And let's try just testing how the creasing will go. Crease BG, crease level 3, dynamic, smooth subdivision of 6. Maybe that's a little too much. Crease level of 2, maybe? Yeah, something like that. Along those lines. This gets a little harsh. Maybe I should get a one edge loop in the middle. This might straighten that out. And also, I could just unmask this, reverse. Yeah, it's just a matter of poly tweaking. I'm doing the exact same thing I would do in Maya. Just not, you know. Also, this crease needs to go away. Increase this. And also, maybe I should just taper this as well. Just get the frame. Something like that. Mask this. Something like that. Also, whoops, something like that. Yeah, something like that. This is essential. What we want to do, and we want to clip that part with a live boolean. Let's just get this also out of the way because it's annoying me. Maybe I could just polygroup the flat island, this whole thing, and this as well. And there we go. Let's test this out. Crease level 2, crease PG, dynamic 6. Perfect. There we go. There's something right there that I missed. Oh, okay. Right, so what I'm gonna do is actually duplicate this off. You can see like the number of tools just piling up, and that's perfectly fine. Let's just go ahead and just do knife, maybe something like that. And now I could, yes, 3 different polygroups, perfect. I could just Z-remesh this with the same, keep groups, smooth groups down to 0, adaptive size down to 0, Z-remesh. It's not working how I thought it would. Yeah, let me just switch this to another sphere. And then just rotate this 90 degrees. Let's get this. Different state. And also here, might want to go something like that. And now is when we want to clip, like knife this right in the middle. Here, same thing goes. Actually, same thing doesn't go. We're gonna live boolean this later. But this is gonna be definitive, the definitive shape that I want on the side. So again, this is gonna be in the middle, and I could mirror and weld, or just not. I'm getting ahead of myself. So this is gonna be for later. Let's just create a start group here, so I know this is gonna be booleaned, and this might be top. Yeah, so this is a boolean group. This one as well, actually. So it's gonna go to the bottom. This one's fine. And also the cube, if I have symmetry on. Nope, no symmetry. It's perfect. And let me just go back to my view. Get the overall. Something like that, and now insert maybe like 3 again, or 4, No, maybe 3. I like an edge loop in the middle, so 3. And let me just go ahead and mask this off. Oops. Alright. Getting a little closer to what I want. Again, if I just smooth this out, I can get a preview. So, polygroup there, flat island, another polygroup there, another polygroup there. Perfect. Crease PG. Oh, forgot about this one. Increase all, crease PG, crease level 2. Dynamic subdiv 6. I always go for 6 for starters. I feel like it's a good number. So this needs to be a little thinner. And maybe something along these lines. All right. And just to show you guys what I mean by like this is gonna be booleaned is because I wanna, let's go for the barrel, not the barrel, I mean the, what do you call this? It's a barrel, right? Yeah, it's the, I wanna call it like the bullet, whatever, doesn't really matter. Bullet barrel. Bullet barrel. There we go. Let me just save this. So Revolver stream. Let's go. All right, so now what I want to do is actually I want to carve in using booleans, carve in the shapes I want, and I'm going to use a mix of booleans and array mesh to achieve that detail. So it's non-destructive, it's procedural, so I can change it on the fly, not commit to anything and have to sort of rework topology and just resculpt everything, remodel, whatever. So again, I'm just gonna insert a basic cylinder right here and rotate this. Oh, whoops. Rotate this, get this, whoops, get this to the size I want, sort of like the bullets to be. Let's just remove all of this. There we go. All I want to see is this one, and I want to have this right there, but also actually let me get this dent in first. So I want to have like one that sets like the standard for everything else. So I'm gonna have like this cut right here, and now I want to test out this array mesh right here. So I'm gonna go to array mesh, click the array mesh, and maybe get this to the center. Maybe the center should be around there. And now lock position, reset, and then just let me go for rotate around the Z, I think. And there we go. Right, so this is not actually working. Let me just reset this. Should be able to do lock. again. It should be able to do it regardless if it's in the middle or not. If not, I might just go ahead and let me just get the array mesh off and just bring everything back. I feel like I don't need this block out anymore, so let's just delete this again. And now I might just go ahead and do like, let's put this all in the folder. Doesn't really matter which order. Let's put this all in the folder because I want the barrel to sit in the middle of the grid. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this Boolean thing together. So let's transpose all. Where is it? Like transpose set and then just transpose add this. But I want to have this subtool selected. I don't need to see that. This subtool selected, and now since it's transposing everything, let's shift P to see like where it is. Something like that. I think that should be it. Now let's see if array mesh works. I don't think it will. There we go. Works fine and dandy. So what I was doing before this little this little lapse of mine. So let's go ahead and get 6 repetitions here. Doesn't really matter if it's the shape we want yet, because we're gonna rework it anyway. So let's go ahead and do this. And then the Z amount of rotation is gonna be 360. Let's 360 degrees, right? And there we go. And now what I can do, because since this is the only sort of object, I could, oh shit, let's take this transpose off. I could just do something like that. There it is. Again, this is for preview purposes, so let me just go ahead and put this in the middle again and just rotate this to get something a little nicer. And if I just go ahead and put the booleans on and just put this as a subtractive boolean, you can see what it's doing, right? It's just cutting in the geometry, but at the same time you can see it's leaving these facets, and this is not really geometry. This is still like that subtool. So this geometry is still this one. It's still that subtool, but then once we apply, it's gonna be pretty much it. Right, so now what I want to do is actually go here with Zmodeler and just delete this flat island and do the same thing we did back then. Just go ahead and close convex full circle and just put a little sort of bump and get a polygroup here so we can crease that. I don't need as many polygons here actually, so it's actually easier for me to sort of rework this if I need to. Again, I'm a very low polygon kind of person. You know, there are a lot of people out there that say, oh, back in the day you used to like sculpt, but I don't care about back in the day. All I care is what I can do right now. Because back in the day I used to do this all in Maya, and this would take me way longer, I can tell you that. You know, it takes me right now. Right, so let's crease PG, crease level of very low crease level, and then just go ahead and do something like that. And then we get this clean cut. And once we do the live booleans, nice drip, bro. Thank you. That's a super cool trick. Yeah. Well, this is actually non-destructive instancing that allows you to, on the fly, to just go ahead and just, I can change like the orientation. I could even change, like if I go here, this is still that subtool. I could just go ahead and scale this up, scale this down to, just for preview purposes. So for example, in a production environment, if you were to send this to like an art director and he's going like, oh no, this is all wrong, I don't want this shape, I want more of a straight thing like I have here, you know, it's no biggie. You could just delete this subtool and just create another like boolean, because the geometry is not destroyed at all, like the base geometry. And then after we bake this, we commit the geometry. This is not, but because harsh edges are a dead giveaway that it's a CG, it's not realist at all. So we're going to use a new feature in ZBrush 2022, it just came out, that's called Bevel Pro. It's a plugin, it's like magic. It's literally instant beveling with 2 clicks. It's amazing, right? So let's try it out after we get the whole thing done, because I'm going on a tangent right there. Okay, so I feel, for my taste, this seems a little too thick. And let's just go ahead, put this right there. Actually, I could just scale it regardless. Yeah. Something like that. Because I might want to just do something a little subtler. Maybe this, you can see like how non-destructive this is, because this is still a mesh, and I think this hole is too big, so I can still go here to Zmodeler actually, and just go ahead and do QMesh, Polygroup Island. I can't. Why can't I? Oh, there it is. And then I could just delete this edge loop, and here delete this edge loop and rework like my inset like so, and then just maybe do another inset right here, and then QMesh this. Whoops. Something like that. And now crease PG, dynamic, smooth subdivision. And there we go. Didn't destroy anything right there. I feel like this needs to be lower now, because you can see like the center is off. So let's just tweak this on the fly right there. And this as well, like I could just go ahead and do something like this, because this is so low poly, I could easily just go ahead and do something like that. You can see like right now this is not working, and it's not working because there's a slight thing going on right there. And again, non-destructive, so that's it. There we go. We're done. Alright, so now this piece, I'm kind of procrastinating going after it, but this piece is, I feel, even harder. I could just do separate pieces and then weld them together as well. Right, but then again, okay, I don't need the booleans anymore. This could be distracting, so let's just go ahead and put this shape right there. and then rework this one because we sort of neglected it. And okay, ZBrush, same ZBrush. Let's see what it gives me. Clean, fairly clean. I could manually, maybe this time I'm going to go manually, just deleting the edge loops that I don't need. Just slide this over. Loop complete, slide this over. Maybe, okay, maybe this one, maybe this one, and this one as well. I don't need that edge loop around there. All right, so now, again, there's VG, dynamic. There we go. Maybe I could delete this one. Maybe not. Maybe I just want to push this. Push this over. It's a little better. Alright, so this needs some work as well, but for now, let's focus on the task at hand because we went off on a tangent. Let's just ignore this one right here, and let's think about this piece. Alright. Okay, there's a little tube right there. Oh, there's another piece I missed, forgot. Yeah, let me go ahead and create another cube. Alt V. Go with our. Oh, why did my view? Oh, crap! Of course, I have to, because I changed where this was. Right, so I need to put this sort of around the same spot. And then I'm gonna do Alt Shift V, clear all views, and then Alt V again. Right, so now if I change the view somehow, Alt V goes back. Now let me just put this back here, Alt V. This is one neat little trick about the views, because in Maya you have like, you press F and it frames. Here you don't have that option, so you might as well create hotkeys for your what is it called? Yeah, ZAppLink CamView. Not CamView. CamView is this little thing I did. Right. Let's go ahead. Let's get this right there. And I want to go in. I want to have this standing right there. Now I want to dynamesh it, and now knife it. There we go. And now I want to have a clip, but this time it's a clip circle, and I want to go in and have this, give it a circle-ish shape. Or I could just insert, like, this is what I would do. Just go ahead and put this like right there, and now switch this to a cylinder 3D, rotate it, and then sort of scale it till thank you, Darkshiv. I hope I'm not butchering your name. Thank you for the follow. try to keep this. It doesn't need to be, again, perfect because it's still gonna be welded together. And if you really wanna be super, like, super anal about this, yeah, you could just go ahead and just do something like that, insert like that cylinder right there. And now we could use a deformer here that goes and says remesh by union or dynamesh, but remesh by union actually. Let me just accept this first. Come on. I have to remove like the screen of the film I put on the screen. Okay, Dark Cash TV. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't spelling your name right. Sorry. Thank you for the follow, man. All right, let's go ahead and remesh my union, but let's first just add a simple. Why is this crap? Let's go ahead and do this just to reset the gear. The gizmo. Remesh by union. Now it should work. Oh, right. It's supposed to be with everything on. There we go. See? Remeshed. And now what we want to do is actually use the knife curve. New knife curve is like a game changer for me. And just knife this off. And you can see I have a polygroup right there. Polygroup right there that I can also knife it. And knife it. So I now have 1, 2, 3, 4 perfect polygroups. So I can just go ahead and use detect the edges, keep groups, smooth groups down to 0, adaptive size down to 0, remesh. And now, oh, okay. No, I don't want that. I want the half. There we go. Let's see. Now let's go adaptive. Yeah, much better. Need some adaptive right there. I could also just go ahead and do a symmetry along the y-axis so I can get a symmetrical topology on the y-axis as well. But it's locally. Right, let's go local. Yeah, much better. And now I could go half and just half again. One more. And there we go. And now I could go ahead and do crease BG, crease level of like 1 because this has so many edge loops. Smooth subdiv of like 5. And ta-da! And now we could go ahead and do this size right here. This is a little thinner. This is like this size. Yeah, let's remesh this again. Same. Actually not same. Let's go and just go for the adaptive one. Or maybe not. Actually, let's just go ahead and do half. Spookies. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm butchering your names today, like everyone's names. Ugh. Thank you for the follow, man. Sorry. It's like just my screen res on OBS is just so small. There we go. SR cookie. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, man. SR cookie. All right. So this is done. Not done because we still have like that place right there. Right, let's just copy this to the bottom. Get a cylinder 3D. Shape this. Get this to the same width or about the same width. And now just scale this down. And get our reference again. Gonna be right there. Switch off reference. Again, this is gonna sort of merge. Could have done this the same way I did this as well. Doesn't really matter. Right, let's go ahead and do, let's be inventive. Something like that. And now for the other portion, I'm gonna go ahead with Zmodeler and just delete a couple of these edge loops right here. Maybe not that one. Maybe this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Maybe this one, because it's not seen, so who cares? All right. So this shouldn't really matter, but let's slide the edge loop partial. This. And now just mask everything except for that. And just push. Whoops. Push this out so it's a little rounder. There we go. Now for this piece, grab this piece right here, maybe reverse, and let's go ahead and create this little dent right there. How am I going to do that? Let's say I need one edge right here, one edge right there. Yeah, I'm gonna delete all of these and then I'll just re-add them. Let me just delete. I could also just stitch this over. Yeah, let's just stitch. Delete this. Not flat island, delete single poly. I'm gonna delete that polygon, these polygons. Delete that one as well. That one, and that one. Now we just go ahead and do something like this. Something like that. This is too manual. If Paul Gabriel was here, he would slap me in the face and go, "Oh, there's a different way of doing that in ZBrush." Yeah, he's probably right. But again, sometimes the old way is the good way, right? So I want to delete this edge. That's going to leave me with a quad. Not a quad, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm just going to stitch this here. Now I have a triangle there, and some crappy geometry. Or not. Stitch this right there, and stitch this right there. And now stitch, stitch, stitch. What the heck happened there? Is this a rendering thing? Or is it a... No, it's not a rendering thing. Yeah, should just delete this. Delete a poly. Yeah, there's a polygon. There's a point right there. That was my problem. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And now if this is not straight, just clip it without polygroups. No need for that. Just clip it and it's straight. It's flat. Now polygroup, flat island. There we go. And here we go again. Maybe this needs to be a different one. This needs to be a different polygroup. And this as well. Yeah, so now if I crease PG, there's an issue right there. It's a triangle. Maybe I could. Splits. Not split. There was something here called slice, maybe? Don't remember. I still don't know all of the tools from ZBrush, so might just slice, but I have a Zmodeler brush for that. Zmodeler slice. And just slice this up. Create that topology right there. Again, mirror and weld. And we have both sides, and now we could just go to our regular Zmodeler, delete this edge, and now it's monotonous, deleting edges. This is the same. Stitch 2 points. I have a quad right there. Let's straighten this out because I'm that guy, you know, stresses over edge flow. Much better. Right, so this is also not working. Let's stitch this all up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. This is another problem. Maybe this is not gonna be seen, so who cares about that? Right. And now stitch this here. Stitch this here. Perfect. Alright, there's a little edge loop right there. An extra edge loop, actually. See? Right there. So... Oh, I see what it's saying. Let's go for Zmodeler slice. Slice this up here, and then up here. And now let's mirror and weld. And now I want to stitch this. So this is like retopology time. In a sense, you have like to do hard surface. There are points in the process of the modeling that you need to do like retopology in order to get like the smooth results that you want. So you can see now it's much better. And I could still add another edge loop right there, right here. So it gives me a different result. Or I could just go ahead and just put this right there and it gives me a rounder shape. Or I could just, while in dynamic sub D mode, just go ahead and tweak this a little bit. There we go. Again, doesn't need to be, you know, super. And this should be crease level 2. Smooth subdiv 6. So it's consistent. It's not perfect, but then again, I could still with the Zmodeler just go ahead and do an inset polygroup island, as long as this is all fairly, yeah, it is. And then just inset this a little bit, and I get leaner geometry, I guess. Oh, maybe not. Need to stitch this too. Yeah. Delete edge. Oh, it's... Yeah, sometimes I use inset region, inset legacy, just because it gives me a better result. This doesn't, clearly. So let's try standard. Yeah, much better. It's not equidistant, but it doesn't really matter because all I want is that crease right there. Let me just try it again. Something like that. Let's uncrease all and now crease PG. Maybe now I want to do like a crease level of 1. Let's do crease PG. Yeah, much better. So you can see how that works, and we still have this topology right here, so we can insert stuff. But again, like if I want to do that, I would just use booleans and be done with it. So there's the piece. And okay, so you can see like the overall thing. How's it looking? Right. So, but let's straighten out the barrel, since we're like in this polishing phase, which is not ideal because we still have that beast to deal with there. Actually, I might just go ahead and do that because it's gonna get ugly if we leave the stream, and this is kinda like it should, but then the handle is not. So for the handle, since this is like a very rough blockout, like Dynamesh shape, I might just need to go ahead and sculpt this. That's what I'm gonna do. Like if I want to have like slight bulging, this symmetrical, yeah. I might just go ahead. Oh, forgot about one thing. Just sculpt this out. Let's go ahead with the move brush. Or maybe I should just go way larger and just go ahead with trim dynamic. So I could just soften this out. So I could just get this rounder. Very low poly, but still like rounding this out. This is a little harsher here, so I'm gonna keep this and just clay this up, maybe right here, and smooth it. And here again, this is wider than it should be. That's okay. I'm gonna carve in the shape right there. And now move. And moving this in slowly. No rush. Still have around an hour to go, so I'm guessing we could do the whole thing. Maybe we could do the whole thing. Maybe next stream we should texture this. I'm gonna try and do the whole thing. Right, so here it's a little rounder. Maybe I could just also just invent my own thing, since I'm not being super like precise with the reference. I take a lot of liberties with reference. With references like this, I don't, because it's a photograph. But if it's a concept, sometimes concept art really, well, it depends on the purpose, because there's a lot of color blackout as well in concept art. And sometimes certain concept pieces are not necessarily made for 3D. It's made for color ideation or art direction, or you don't know what the purpose of that concept art was unless it's like a portfolio piece. But most of the portfolio pieces, unless it's from someone that's a professional, sometimes you can see that the person in, you know, that did that concept art did not realize, like, did not have a clear like mindset of where would that piece actually fit in the pipeline. And what it actually means is that once you do concept art, you do it for a certain, like, for a purpose, right? And you do it either to get the production artists, the 3D artists and all of that, to model that and create it for your game world or your film or whatever, or you do it to iterate with the art direction, and that's what you do. Thank you, Gonu Chiha, for the following. Thank you. That's what you do. So you, again, careful with choosing concept art. What I usually do is, if it's concept art, I take some damn liberties. I'm gonna show you a piece like in a while. Let me just finish this one. I'm gonna show you a weapon I'm doing as a class demo for my classes that I teach. Sci-fi pistol that has like a power shot adapter, and I did it all in ZBrush, and it's still in progress, but it's almost finished, like the high poly modeling. And it took some concept art that I found, amazing concept art, by the way, but there were some pieces that are very, sometimes it looks really great in 2D, and then it just doesn't work in 3D at all. So you have to sort of iterate as well, like while you're doing your modeling, you don't just copy what you see, right? Hello, Night Shadows. Hello, how you doing? All right, so this is starting to look better, but then we're gonna retopologize this manually, which is gonna be fun, because I love that. I know most people think it's boring, but I love retopologizing by hand. Just give me a little second, guys. Just let me get my vaping liquid. There we go. And my blanket, because it's freaking cold in Portugal. All right. Okay, so what I was saying is we're gonna do like retopology of this manually, and in order to get a clean mesh for dynamic subdivision, and eventually use booleans with some patterns, some cool patterns. That's like the finishing touch. The finishing touch is gonna be just, oh fuck. The finishing touch is just gonna be putting in some ornaments, like decorative ornaments in this gun. I could do that in Substance Painter, but like afterwards, using the height map painting, just paint directly on the height map. That would be the most actually production-like thing to do, because in a studio normally you'd need to sort of save time, and if you do that in the modeling, it's gonna stay there, and you don't know which design might fit it best. Again, non-destructive. So anything that's super detailed, I'm just gonna do it in texturing. But for this piece specifically, because I want to post it at ZBrush Central, I might just do it all in ZBrush and just do remesh union. Maybe do a nice like photoreal render in Keyshot, which is just click of a button and you're in Keyshot, and then just a matter of tweaking in the lights, the materials, adding some decals, some textures, and tweaking everything to look like as real as possible, and you get like fairly decent portfolio render out of it. It's not a game production thing, but it doesn't really matter if it's just for, you know, awareness and online presence thing. Right, so I feel like this needs to be a little rounder here, and it's a little straighter here, but not this straight. Maybe this needs to go maybe like so. Yeah. This is an organic piece. It's more organic than the rest of the Revolver. So I'm trying to be as clean as I can here. And again, we could still knife this, knife that, and get clean geometry just by Z-remeshing. Which, let me try it out. Again, it's non-destructive. We could just go back at any time. So let's just go ahead. Knife. Is perspective on? No. Okay, cool. And then just knife this, knife that, knife that. Yeah, this needs to be something like this, like this. Again, I could just polygroup this all together. There we go. And now, bam, magic, shall we? Oh, okay. This needs to be cleaned up. Just, yeah, much better. We get clean geometry right there. And then Z-remesh, same adaptive size, keep groups, smoothing groups down to 0, adaptive size 0, Z-remesh. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Maybe this now can be 1. And maybe we could move this to help Z-remesh know what we want. Get this edge loop around. Yeah, something like that. Z-remesh same. Perfect. Perfect. Sculpt this. Z-remesh same. There we go. See how easy that is? And now it's just a matter of going half. Half. Oh, again. I should raise the adaptive size a little. Because it needs to be a little more adaptive than this. I would still prefer to like and retopologize this. It feels a little off. Yeah, let's just retopologize this. Again, no big deal. Never. Or I could just knife this a little better. Yeah, I don't care about the undo history. There we go. Okay, let me just move this a little bit because this is clearly not working. There we go. Z-remesh same. Okay. Let's see where the problem is. Let's do it again. I knew this part would be trickier. Knew it. Called it. Let's not detect edges. Maybe you could smooth the groups again. Yeah, way better. Yeah, you could smooth because this is actually gonna be pretty smooth, so again, doesn't really matter. Now half. Let's see what we get. Okay. Even though we get a little thingy right there. Okay, let me just slide this with Zmodeler. Zmodeler is your best friend here. Okay, mask this off. What? Weird. There we go. There we go. A little better. Maybe now ZBrush knows what we want. We could polish by groups as well. Let me just do a little quick polish. There we go. Now let's ZBrush again. Again, this screen film is getting me crazy. Let's move groups down to 0. Stitch this actually. Oops. There we go. Oh, stitch to midpoint now. I want to stitch this to the mid. Or maybe I could just use ZBrush again, but this time with the same. And there we go. Again, this could still be a little better. Like so. Make it something like that, right? And we could still go ahead and smooth this out if we want. For now, this is looking fine. So what I'm gonna do is actually use a deformer. Whack 'em. Use a deformer to get the shapes where I want them. So like that. Also something like that. And we actually got ourselves a gun. Right? Now this part right here is tricky again, because as you can see there, is this sort of like cylinder goes in. Maybe we could just Z-model this right off the bat. It's just a matter of, let's duplicate this, and now I want transparency with ghost on, switch to something like yeah, let's go for a cylinder just to be a little quicker about it. So let's go ahead and do something like this. Actually, let's get transparency off and just basically get rid of this. Oh, where am I? There it is. Alright, so now this sits right here. If I do this smooth thing, it's a little wider. And now if I can just go here and use an extender, I get something like this, which is more akin to what I need, what I want. And also, I just knife this right there. Ooh, not perfect. Actually, I could just slice it. And now, let's go ahead. And delete hidden. There we go. Now go ahead and close these holes. Whoops. Hole. There we go. Now we could delete these edges. It's a little cleaner. And now we have our basic shape. We could just Z-model the crap out of this. This could be a little... No, maybe not. Maybe it's not thinner. Maybe this here needs to be thinner. This part right here. Again, iteration. That's why this method is perfect for that. Just go ahead and do this. And now the same thing goes for this part. There we go. Now this piece needs to be modeled this way. It's actually going to be a little tricky because now I gotta go to slice this mesh. Something like that. And now use a mirror and weld. Yeah, that works. Why not? Delete, 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 delete. And there we go. Now we have straight 2 polygons there, which we could just go insert. Let's uncrease all first and foremost. Insert an edge loop right there. Push this back. Let's take off Booleans. Q mesh. Put this right there. And now what we want to do, single poly, symmetrical, something like that. Maybe not. Maybe we want an edge loop right there, and now we do something like that. Yeah, more akin to this. Something like that. It's that shape, at least. But maybe this could be a little more deep. There we go. Let's try with something with a crease level and a smooth subdivision of 6, just to get a feel on what's going on here. Alright, so there's this thing that we need to... Oops. Yeah, need to paint this like so. And there's this little pinch right there. Now this also, this lip sort of goes in, this goes out. I think this whole piece is way like to the top like that. That's why this doesn't make any sense. This needs to be something like that. So this, in turn, needs to go. You can see it preserved like the deformer, which is amazing. Let's go ahead. Let's pull this up, this out. It's a game. This is a game, man. The game of pulling stuff in and out. Again, now this piece needs to be a little rounder here. So it's just a matter of tweaking what you have here. Just select all of these. Something like that as well. We could just go slightly with our inflate brush and just inflate this a little bit. There we go. Now, let's use the polygroups here. Polygroup, polyloop. What? Oh, crap. Totally forgot about this. Let's just do a little trick, a little ZBrush magic. Right. delete this and stitch this, delete this, whoops, delete this, and delete this. And now mirror and weld. There we go. Auto saving. Let's go for the clip. Not sure, guys. I think we won't be able to make it. Let's go. Let's crease PG. It's a little pinch right there. Yeah, because of that poly group. That's it. A little better. There we go. Now there's a little thing. Also. Crease all, crease PG. There's a little thing here that I need to, with symmetry on, just sort of get out of the way, because I need this to be the other way around. And yeah, let's try this again. Crease all, crease PG. Much better. Much better. Also, I feel like what we could do is actually do a quick Q mesh here, get this, then maybe stitch these 2 points and this. Yes. Let's uncrease here. I don't want that. I also don't want that. So I might just do like a roundish kind of shape here. And then just go ahead and polygroup all of this. Polygroup all of this. Let's try it. Increase all. Oops. Increase PG. A little better, I guess. I don't know. Increase level of 2. Smooth subdiv 6. Maybe increase level of 3. There's this annoying increase. Shouldn't be like this. Should be like this. Let's increase it manually. Perfect. Well, it's not perfect, but you know what I mean. Actually, let's try something like that. Yeah. More, it needs to be super smooth. That's the problem with this. These classical revolvers. Needs to be a little smoother. Yeah, but I feel like now we're starting to get the feel for this revolver piece. Maybe this one should be a little higher up. This working? What? Why is my live booleans not working? My hotkey don't work. This is weird. Ah, there we go. Right, so this is almost done. Let me just go ahead and... This part is fairly easy, so let me just go ahead and switch here. Maybe I could just duplicate this and just get it inside here. Get it a little smaller and get something like that. And this should be subtractive as well. And there we go. This was easy, right? So this part is almost done. Let me just recheck here what we want. Just see what we want here. This seems to be... almost there. All right. Maybe here I just want a cylinder. I'm thinking about it all wrong. Maybe I just want something like this. And then maybe go to towards the center. Oh, when this resets, just close. It's all right. Yes, I think so. All right, so let's just Q mesh this. Yes, actually let me just go thinking how I'm gonna go about this. So flat island right here, delete flat island right there, and now I'm gonna do the same thing I did back then. Something like this, and I'll flip it right there. There we go. And now this goes in like so. It goes like this. Yeah, and now we could delete potentially, whoops, we could delete half of this. There we go. Delete hidden. And there we go. Could breach this manually, but then again, yeah, we need to bridge this, so let's go to double-sided. Okay, this, I don't need this. There we go. And now this bridge is to this bridge is right there. This bridge is right there. This bridge is right there. So let's start bridging this. Bridge. There we go. Oops. Go to Y symmetry. Y symmetry. Non-symmetric. What the heck do you mean? There we go. Sometimes it's just a matter of... Oh, okay. Maybe we do need another... There we go. And now here we could insert an edge loop right there. And now you can see where this is going. If this is the type of retopology that's actually easier in Maya. I could just go in with quad draw, just shift click and fill all this. But it's so, again, it's such a nitpick that why would I just leave ZBrush for, you know, for this small little step, right? It would take me even longer. So yeah, well, no. There we go. Okay, perfect. And now that we want to have some creasing, right here. And there we go. This happens right there, which means that for this one, I want to insert a cube. Doesn't really matter which cube, because I'm gonna use it just to cut this piece. So subtractive, and I'm gonna cut it. See? That easy. And now, even if I don't want to be as destructive with this cube, I want to mirror and weld it. I could use the array mesh, just lock position reset, and what this is gonna do, like X mirror, is sort of get a mirrored cube, but it's just one cube. And I could do the same thing for this piece, which I modeled very dearly. So it's very clear to me. Let's go mirror, and this is an array, so it's an instance, it's non-destructive. So we have this already, and let's check out the overall Revolver. starting to look like it should, but we're procrastinating dealing with this, and I'm guessing that this would be probably the last thing we do if we do this. And not you know, as a whole, like your whole life, but you know, like the last thing we do tonight would actually be that. Let's just get this nice and clean before that. So again, this is super easy, so do this really fairly simple. Just inset a mesh, inset right here, then do mesh, polygroup island, and there we go. And now I could even increase with the tolerance, and it gets me this nice. I could even increase all, really. And now I could just increase 2, this to like 6. Again, still, this is still very low poly here. Maybe I want to add like a single edge loop right there. And maybe here as well. And this is quite enough. And maybe crease manually these edges right here. There we go. Nice little topology. Here's the thing, I want a pattern to be here. I want my pattern to be here. You can see in the reference it's not there. There's no pattern whatsoever. But I do feel I want that pattern there. So maybe let's try to rework this so we could have it before we sort of meld everything together. This needs to be uncreased. Or maybe that's the problem. Maybe I should uncrease this. Yes, way better. Way better. There we go. Whoops, daisy. So this needs to be sort of melded here. Need to weld this together. Let's just get this polygroup. Let me think. Yeah, this needs to be a little thicker. I misjudged this. Just a little bit. Not much though. I don't want it to look that bulky, right? This is like a Civil War revolver, so. There we go. Right, so now here I want this to be a little wider as well. And maybe get this up about. Here's the thing. This goes in to the front. And then yeah, maybe this should be, this piece should be, so maybe not this one. This one definitely should go up until here, and then sort of Oh, these booleans are annoying. I'll just get the booleans out of the way. Now this could go in like so. And again, I could just duplicate this. Where is it? All right, just select this. Shoot it to the top. Select that. Shoot it to the top. Like this. Shoot it to the top. Like this. Shoot it to the top. All right. And now these two. Oh, fuck. What the heck is going on here? Move up. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. This shoot it to the top. This shoot it to the top. That's it. And now I could just make duplicates of both. And make this, merge this down. One. And now I could just go in, maybe even with the dynamics on, just try and smooth this out, this transition. But again, I don't need to, because I could just go ahead and do a remesh by union. And there we go. And now, okay, this is crappy. Let's forget about that. Let's just apply the dynamic, apply, delete lower, and then just yeah, let's just remesh by union. Right, a lot of geometry here. We could actually dynamesh this. Whoa. Take it easy there, fella. No groups. Do something like this. Yeah, so this is all one piece. So we could go ahead with our trim. Maybe not, but we could put it here. Just sort of smooth this transition out. This is what's happening right there. Sometimes I do sculpt. I know this is a sculpting software. Oh, this is not mirrored. Go mirror and weld. And we could also go flip curve. Flip curve. And go like this. this part right here. So this needs to be all one subtool. Maybe this as well. Take this off, take this off, take this off. And this is all one subtool. Maybe not. Maybe this isn't. Let me take the lines off. We could use polygroup it and just keep it simple, silly. And this should be like that. I think that's it. Let's try ZBrush this. Turn off Dynamesh. Smooth groups, maybe a little bit. Same ZBrush. Right, so we got the what's going on here? One subtool. Half again. Okay, again. Okay, again. So I want to keep this super low polygon in order for Booleans not to be like super heavy. There we go. Clean as topology. Half. Maybe I don't want to smooth them anymore. Half. Yeah, let's do some adaptive size here. Go ahead and do like a slice. Collapse, poly loop. Not happening. Let's just go manually. Collapse, 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 collapse. Ooh, there we go. Now mirror, and weld, mirror. Now this thing as well. Why is it symmetrical? I think it's the topology. It didn't do symmetry. There we go. Now we can just delete. Oh. Delete an edge. This could be stitched there. This could also be stitched here. And delete this. And there we go. And we could even take this, straighten this out. And now we could mirror and weld. There we go. It's clean-ish, so enough for me to do some, or maybe I could still go half. Yeah, maybe more. Yes. Ugh, no symmetry on. There we go. Oof, much better. Okay, this is janky. Right, let's Z-slice right there. And now delete this edge. Let's stitch this. This right there. Stitch this right there. Same result. Doesn't really matter. Result's the same, so whatever. And now, Crease BG, dynamic. Delete a few of these. Maybe not. Let's just hide those temporarily. Much better. This is looking way crispier than before. Also, here we could do like crease tolerance. Level 2, subdiv 6, and we could get there we go. Even here, we could just go ahead and do cylinder. Get something like this on the same subtool. And here we could go ahead with the edge, crease, edge loop complete. And there we go. Here we could also just insert an edge loop. Insert allowing me. Let's go ahead. Yeah. Weird stuff going on here. Like this. Something like that. And then also I could just go ahead and do something like this and then split these. Split, unmask. And now this could be a boolean. We could expand this a little further. And also we could split these as well. Split hidden. And now go to crease. Tolerance. And this needs to be right there. Yeah. Something like that. Right. Now here we want to do the same, like crease tolerance. We don't want that edge. And also, what we could do here is actually get some more details. Let's inset flat island. Like this, inset flat island, or inset polygroup island, actually. So this in Q mesh in. Oh, okay. So this could be also, well, yeah, let's polygroup this. Put this polygroup. And now polygroup island. There we go. And now I could Q mesh this. Q mesh polygroup all. There we go. And now crease PG. And there you have it. Nice little bolt there. When the Bennett ball, FYI. BOL. I don't know what that means, I'm sorry. Alright, so again, this still seems a little bit off, so we could just tweak this with a deformer before we go. And I might want to then do a little boolean also before we go. Something like that. Also do a little boolean right there. Exactly. That's what I'm sensing. Let's insert a sphere 3D. Doesn't really matter what it is. Let's just go ahead and Right, so now this is a new start group, and this is subtracted, and we have this effect. Booleans are freaking amazing. And now if I want this boolean to do the other thing, I use array mesh because it's non-destructive. So reset, X mirror, there we go. Okay, so also another one, and it could be sphere 3D. Oh, this sphere 3D is a little weird. There we go. Much better. There we go. How's that? How's that for Maya is faster? So this seems all right. Base PG. Again, fairly simple. Here it's the same thing. We might need to add a few, but add an edge loop right there. There we go. All right, there was a little detail there in the front. I might not be able to finish it though, but I can get that little dent and just split this off. Get the little crosshair, the orange sights there. I also wanted to add something, right? I don't know if you guys remember. So I'm gonna add this through the crosshair. So there's a crosshair right here. This is the last thing, I promise. I know you guys are tired of hearing me. So. Right, so there's this. And then there's this. That. And now we want to stay super simple. Just do a slice right there. And now with Zmodeler, I'm gonna just do a polygroup right there and Q-mesh this polygroup. And now I want to grab it. Tweak it a little bit. Let's just remove the booleans temporarily. Ugh, these cubes are gonna make it hard for me to... Alright, doesn't matter. I'm gonna time attack mode. Time attack mode. There we go. Now this goes straight back. Let's go back to the booleans. And I want this straight back, and eventually... this ain't gonna work. Oh, it is gonna work. It's actually here, because I'm using another Revolver as a reference. Has these things, yeah, up until here, which is perfect for what we want. Again. Actually, I could just flip this. Flip curve. Oops. There. Now another slice here just to be super fast. There we go. Now this. I actually need to be lower a little bit. Something like that. Along those lines. Alright, so now here what I want to do is like paint this poly group right there, just hue mesh it down, and now I want to delete this edge right there, and it's going to create this sort of tolerance. Create a certain edge loop right there. Actually, I want to insert the whole bunch right here. Let's insert interactive. Let's just go all the way. Let's crease this. Crease, edge loop partial, so don't mess this up. There we go. All right. Let's see if this creasing actually helps, because creasing is getting a little janky here. This actually helps. It seems like I want to go this in the middle. I think so. All right. Let's go and slice this real quick. Do mesh, poly. Let's push this in. this in a little bit more, maybe a little bit more. There we go. And now let's do some auto groups real quick. This ought to be separated. Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, there we go. Let's crease this once again. Alright, so there's the iron sights. Alright, now I'm gonna do like a subtractive boolean here. Just a couple of them. So I'm gonna insert the cylinder 3D. Jeez guys, we're almost in 3 hours and a half. We're almost half an hour past what we're supposed to. It don't really matter. Right, so this is the subtractive one. We'll just check. Yeah. I'm gonna shoot those to the top anyway, so yeah, let's shoot this to the top. Shoot this to the top. And there we go. Yeah, this doesn't really matter. This one is subtractive. And again, there it is. And I want to crease this. Tolerance. There we go. Now the creasing level needs to be lower, way lower. There we go. And now the iron sights as well, so might as well just do a mirror and weld here. Just get this to the center. Yeah, there we go. And now just duplicate this, get a cube here, doesn't really matter which cube. Like cube. And then just crease by tolerance. Actually, I might want some more geometry here. Something like that. Get this to a point where it's gonna help me define those iron sights right there. There we go. Perfect. Iron sights done. Revolver thingy done. And now, for the coup de grace. For the coup de grace, we should add like a fair amount. Much better. Go. This is like what, guys? Like 3 hours? 3 hours, maybe. 3 hours to do this. Would take me way longer. I can tell you that in Maya. Oh, there's also another missing piece right here. We could use the same thing for the sights right there. Shifty. Maybe get this. Oh, yeah. Totally forgot about this. I don't want this anymore. Let's loop this thing. Go. This is not mirrored. No. No, it is. And now, final touch. Insert. I could just use an IMM, but I'm too lazy for that. And I feel like I've wasted a lot of time. But again, whatever suits you. 90 degrees. Go over here. If this was the ZBrush Summit, I would have been disqualified by now. It's been more than 3 hours. Alright, let's just go through. And now let's use a deformer, an extender deformer, something like that. This seems pretty useful. Extender. And now, look like this, like this. Neat little trick. Actually, I feel like I don't really like this. This part right here, I feel like it benefited from just getting a little okay, right here. But that one, yeah, this one should definitely be meshed down. Then maybe we could just yeah. Now we could just go in and tweak this a little bit. Like that. Also just delete. You could just delete these edges. Yeah. Now, increase all, increase 25, maybe increase, maybe this gets a polygroup flat island, and this is the same, and I might just increase all, increase pre-G, increase all, now increase level 2, with subdiv, something like that, and there we go. And now I might just stretch this out a little bit. Get something like this going. Get 3. Now this is subtracted, and the thing is, I could use a remesh for this. It's a remesh, lock position, reset, and let's go offset Z amount negative, something along these lines. Lower the repetitions. Something a little bit more like this. And then we could use Bevel Pro, that would be like the last stage before baking. This as well. Smooth result right here. I want to crease this. Totally forgot. There we go. And also here, I've thought of a way of actually bringing in, I brought like an alpha from textures.com, so it's 327. Sorry, I haven't been looking at the chat. 334 right now. But yeah, okay, so I'm gonna bring in an alpha, and this is gonna be the last thing I do before calling it a day. I think this is it. It's this, and then I'm gonna make 3D, which is weird, but let's go to alpha and go to mesh. There we go, much cleaner one. And now I want to actually unmask this polygroup, and then just actually, I would even argue I want to slice this right there. And now I can delete this, delete hidden, maybe make this a little, doesn't really matter if it's like crappy GEO, of course it matters a little bit, but I could still just go through and smooth this. I'm gonna do, okay. smooth it out. Doesn't need to be super sharp. This is made from an alpha, so this faceting here, it's like a depth. The alpha is a gradient, and that gradient has like layers of gradient. It's made from ZBrush. And the problem is that depending on the resolution of the alpha, it's gonna, like the image itself, it's gonna create that faceting. So yeah, this was made, this alpha was actually made in ZBrush, I can tell. Just looking at these facets. Alright, just smooth out throughout. Now that I've brought in this alpha here, I'm gonna apply it to our gun. I know this is not fancy, but I wanna have something finished, I guess. Alright, so now I wanna insert that tool right here. And now it's just a matter of course this is like super high poly. This is just if you want it like to bake it along. Scale it down. You could even design your own stuff, like use a spotlight to project. Alright, so now let's think of something else. Now I'm just gonna duplicate this around. And maybe I wanna mirror this in the Z. This. Just bring it forward. And now get something like this and push it in. Right, so here's the thing. I feel like this is a little crappy, but I'm gonna power through and I'm gonna come here to this subtool and maybe do a little bit of tweaking here before we go. What's going on? Why is it suddenly so slow? Let me just save this. Because it would be a shame if it crashed just before we call it a night. Is it? Yeah, it's done. Oh, I think it was a dynamic subdivision. Cool. Let's just extract, let's get this. Actually, you could duplicate this and just get this and delete hidden. And now go ahead and do the edge loop. No, it's group loop. There we go. Now we can delete hidden. Delete hidden and let's try to delete this as well. This edge loop. There we go. Perfect framing, right? And now that we have this, it's just a matter of going here, Q mesh, polygroup all. And boom, boom, boom. Whoops, forgot about this little thing. Let me go back. I actually don't need this as well. Yeah, I'm gonna delete hidden now. And now just grab it. hidden again. And there we go. Huh? Perfect. Perfect. Well, it's not perfect, but you know. Let's crease this. Expand this. We could spend some time just tweaking this, like getting it to be perfectly straight. Something like that. And there we go. And now the thing is, this could be used. I could use array mesh instead of mirroring because of the geometry. And you can tell that this is the most of the geometry. It's like the geometry is like 1.6 million, but 1.6 million is just this subtool, and this subtool is completely optional. But if I wanted to do this, if I wanted to do this for a video game, for example, I would do this in Substance and not necessarily here. But since, again, this is a ZBrush thing, we could put this here just for fun. Let's go reset and X mirror. Okay, see this? This is an artifact. Let's make mesh. Yeah, there we go. Okay, something weird going on here. Let's turn off array mesh. And let's just do some old mirror and weld. Oh. Here we go again. There we go. And so this was it. This was today's stream. So we managed to do fairly fast and fairly... Oh, hello. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, and I won't butcher it. Sorry, but hi. But we were already gonna wrap this up. So this is just the basic modeling process. I would still do a lot of like a small panel here just for funds, but I could do it in Substance again, just painting on the height map. So normally I would do that. This is the result of today's stream. Tried my best. I would do a few things differently looking at it. Like I would still change a few things, but again, doesn't really matter. It's for the sake of the exercise itself. And there you go. ZBrush wins again. Okay, so guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Next time, I promise we'll do something like this. Might not be a gun, might be something else, but we'll try to start from oh yeah, the pentagon shape. It's actually from the concept. If you look at the concept, it's sort of, you know, faceted. Here it's not that much, but here you can actually see it's not a pentagon, but I felt like it should blend better with the lower barrel, so I put it like a pentagon instead of an hexagon. But there were like Civil War revolvers that were this shape, which is super interesting because the most typical one is like this or like this, but you can see like this design is just amazing, and these like patterns are just crazy, and I wouldn't have enough time to do this, but I would do this in Substance at all, like totally. I would just UV this as a shell and then just project like a texture and paint it over, you know, way simpler than just doing it in modeling. This was just for show, this little thing which we could boolean now and weld together. But okay guys, so what do you mean this pattern? Like this one? I just showed it. You could watch the VOD like it's recorded, but it's primarily an alpha like this. It's this alpha that's projected. If you go here, you can do 2 mesh from this alpha, and it creates a mesh. Fairly dense, like super dense. Like most of this 3 million polygons are just this subtool. Because if I, for example, hide that subtool, if it allows me to. All right, so if I hide this, everything else is just, yeah, everything. Believe me, just most of it doesn't even amount to like 10,000 polygons. Like, doesn't even go to there. So this would be a nice like prop or something. Not necessarily like, yeah, it would be a prop. So yeah, I used alpha, but I would use an alpha, but for in texturing. Like I would texture this. I wouldn't model it like this unless it's something that you're really sure that you wanted to be there. So then I would model it. But that was it. Okay. So thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna go now. Gonna grab something to drink, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. So see you later. Bye. Thank you. Thank you for being here.